that?
Don't object to the proof stand, we might have put out the first vote, but I do believe that maybe the greatest thing to be right now is their charges.
We do have two charges.
All right. I've got a lot of council standing up, and I'm not sure who's representing who.
That's what I was thinking, Commissioner. Before you start on that, I'm not reading the agreement too. I believe the board would expect some city council to get that over, so I could be relieving some of the council here.
Okay, thank you. I'll sign that. Thank you. All right.
I'm Dr. Barney, I'm from Drew County.
Nice to have you.
Karen Kinsey, will be in council for
Okay.
All right, Jim, great.
Press. So, Mr. Press, unless you want to waive the formal reading of the charges,
We did like the formal reading.
he is aware of all the new charges that were just filed yesterday.
He is aware of that.
All right, and Mr. Trevathan, will council waive a formal reading of the new charges for him?
We do that.
Okay, so everybody, all the defendants both understand what you've been charged with at this point? Everybody's nodding their head and affirmative. Okay. So we're ready to go forward with the bond hearing?
We are, Your Honor.
One second.
There's several new charges that were there last night.
Right, that's what I was asking, if you would waive the formal reading of the arraignment on those new charges that were filed last night. Yes. All right, is everybody ready?
State for you.
All right, everybody's going to be testifying in this matter. Please stand, raise your right hand and be sworn.
Hopefully we may have, Ms. Rose Adams, grandmother, Nick Gallo.
All right, raise your right hand and be sworn. Do each of you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? State's ready, call your first, please.
State calls Justin, kids.
Ask when ready.
Mr. Kitts, would you please state your name for the record?
Detective Sergeant Justin Kitts, Hamblen County Sheriff's Department.
And as your employment at the Hamblen County Sheriff's Department, were you assigned a case regarding Mr. Adam Perez and Mr. Tally Trathon?
Yes.
Could you please tell the court about the nature of your investigation involving those two individuals?
I do want to remind everybody, this is a bond hearing. This is not a preliminary hearing, so the testimony needs to be restricted to matters pertaining to bond. All right, proceed, please.
Could you please tell the court about the initial investigation that you took regarding Mr. Perez and Mr. Trathon?
Okay. On January 4th, 2026, approximately 12:39, deputies were dispatched to 720 on Poplar Ridge Road. There were multiple calls to 911 about the shooting. On arrival, deputies did find one victim deceased in the backyard, and then there was another victim in a bedroom with multiple gunshot wounds, and he was taken to Marshall County Hospital, but pronounced dead at the hospital. I was contacted approximately 12:57 a.m. I went en route to the scene. I wound up at the Dollar General on Commerce and West AJ and interviewed several teenagers. From that point, I did go to the scene and I observed one dead in the yard, and then we started the process to see.
As part of your investigation, were you able to discover any video footage?
Yes.
Of the incident?
Yes, there was video from outside of the
And what did that video footage show?
Video footage showed,
Was that already investigated?
This is a bond hearing, we don't need the video for this time.
I'm gonna allow it for bond hearing purpose.
that video showed, multiple teenagers in and out. There was, Mr. Perez was in and out of the back door of the residence, multiple times, and then the video shows Mr. Perez firing a fire.
How, do you see how many rounds that he fired?
There was other video with audio, because there wasn't audio on the video on the house, and that video shows that there were 13 rounds fired.
After you see Mr. Perez shooting the firearm, what does he do next?
He retreats towards Mr. Bowen's vehicle and then to Fencer.
Through your investigation, were you able to determine if Mr. Trathan had a firearm?
Yes.
How were they ultimately apprehended?
They were taken into custody in Riverside Towers in Pigeon Forge, by Hamblen County with the TBI and assisted by Pigeon Forge people.
Do you know if were they stopped that night?
Yes, Spirit County Hospital.
Have you had a chance to review dash cam from that stop?
Yes.
What did you notice about the tag light on that stop?
The tag was completely blacked out.
And who was the driver of that vehicle?
Calvin Truck.
Where did all this occur again?
It was at 720 Old Poplar Road.
Is that here in Hamblen County?
Hamblen County, yes.
In your interviews with witnesses, who did they say the shooter was?
There were multiples that said that Adam Perez was the shooter.
What, as your investigation, was Mr. Tretton's involvement in this?
He did brandish a firearm, and he did drive the getaway vehicle.
Do either of these individuals live in Hamblen County, do you know?
No.
Who was that deceased individual that brandished the firearm?
That was Marsalis Vessel.
Marsalis Vessel, also known as Sal, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You know, the teenager, Mr. Boulder, do you know if he had a firearm?
I did.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
And did he have that on his person?
He did, yes.
And when you arrived on the scene, he still had that firearm, is that correct?
He was not there when I arrived on the scene.
Mr. Boulder was not there?
No, he had already been transported.
And witness statements revealed that he had a firearm as well, right?
Yes.
And witness statements revealed that he showed that firearm, is that correct? Had to show it to be seen, right?
Yeah, yes, he did.
And those were the two individuals that, Mr. Perez is charged with second-degree murder, is that correct?
Yes,
Both had guns,
yes,
both the guns were seen.
yes.
Do you know who fired the first shot?
I do know.
Do you know where Mr.
I apologize. Mr. Perez did fire the first shot.
How did you determine that he fired the first shot?
By the basis of the video, the only shots that were fired were by Mr. Perez.
And is that the ring camera video?
Yes,
And that ring camera video you have in your possession?
yes,
And is that ring camera video, does it have infrared lighting where you can, I mean, this is midnight, right? It's
Yes.
dark. And so you can definitively determine the descriptors of each individual that appears on video?
yes,
And, the individual that you identified was in the backyard, is that correct?
yes,
Is that camera footage of the backyard?
it is.
Who provided you that footage?
Property owner.
Mr. Perez was charged with 19 counts of reckless endangerment.
Yes, sir.
Did you swear out these warrants?
Yes, sir.
Who are the victims?
There's a list on the back. There should be a back page.
And did you interview each one of those?
Myself and other detectives in the department.
And those individual alleged victims appear on this video footage?
I believe so, yes. And some that did come to us that were right.
How did you determine they were victims?
They were there when the shooting happened.
Just because they were there when the shooting happened?
They were there in the area where the shooting happened.
And so because they were there,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Perez was charged with 19 counts of reckless
Yes, sir.
endangerment. Each of these individuals, you may have answered this, and I apologize, but each of these 19 individuals, they're identifiable in the video that you possess.
I can't let that.
Do you know where the individual that was located in the backyard, do you know if he was shot to the side, in the front, the back, do you know?
He was shot multiple times. The record from the Knoxville Forensic Center will identify.
And do you know which firearm belonged to the site?
Yes,
And which one was that?
that would be the masterpiece arms.
Masterpiece arm?
Masterpiece arms.
Okay, and is that the firearm that appears to have a suppressor at the end of it?
Yes,
Was that a functional suppressor, or
I cannot answer that.
have you not fired that weapon?
I have not.
Was it loaded?
Yes, it was,
And what kind of firearm did Mr. Porter possess?
he had a Sky 9mm.
Was it loaded?
Yes.
And where did you locate that firearm?
That firearm was located in the bathroom drawer.
So I think you testified earlier that you had identified only 3 firearms, but we have spoken about 4. I think you spoke
We
about.
have spoke about 4 because one was never recovered.
you have any information that would conclude or cause you to believe that my client, who is alleged to have fired that weapon, was not in imminent fear of danger or harm?
I don't have any evidence that he was in.
Do you have any information that would suggest that he was in fear?
I don't have any evidence that he was in fear.
Sir, you have a video of the backyard, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In that backyard video, when do you see Mr. Trevathan exit the house?
I don't have a specific time.
How long before the shooting started?
He was, like I said, he was in and out, right before the shooting started.
Mr. Trevathan was in and out?
Wait a minute. You said Mr. Perez. I'm sorry, I was on Mr. Perez. Will you re-ask? I apologize.
When does that backyard video show Mr. Trevathan exiting the house?
It shows Mr. Trevor exit the house after the, first round of shots were fired.
Right, and how was he moving? Was he walking slowly?
I don't remember exactly.
Right. Who else was exiting the house at that point?
Multiple people.
Everybody, right? You mean there were gunshots going off and people were running out of the house?
Yes.
And where did Mr. Trevathan go at that time?
I believe he appeared to go towards his vehicle.
Okay. Can you see his vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Did he enter, do you see him enter the vehicle?
No, not from the angle. You can't see him actually get inside the vehicle.
So you don't know whether he entered through the driver's side or through the passenger side?
Not based on video footage.
Okay. And so somehow he gets into his vehicle.
Yes.
And about how long after that did he leave?
Minutes.
Okay. Who else was leaving about the same time?
Mr. Perez went with him and everybody else.
Everybody else was leaving at the same time.
Actually, I believe, they were the first, one of the first ones to leave the scene.
Okay. So how, so gunshots are going off. Trevathan exits the house, I'm assuming in a quick fashion, along with everybody else running, jumps in his vehicle. Mr. Perez runs and jumps in his vehicle, and that's okay.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And then he leaves.
Yes.
There's no audio on that back yard camera.
No.
There is on the front, is it the front door camera?
The front ring camera has audio.
Okay. How many people exited out the front door?
I can mention that.
Do you know how many back doors there are?
There are a set of double French doors, and then there's another door down from us.
Okay, a bedroom off.
It's, I believe it's considered an office slash laundry room.
Did Mr. Perez exit the same door as Mr. Trevathan?
Which time?
The last time?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't let you know. Did you see anybody exit the house after Mr. Trevathan, directly after, as he chased him?
I do not recall.
The deceased, have tell you that people point guns at
There was a witness statement.
Who is that?
I cannot recall, so we have to look back into the notes.
And was that before or after the threats?
Before.
So they ordered the gun out of the without running.
I'm not gonna say that's not exactly happened.
The license plate incident, that was Spear County Sheriff's Office that pulled it in with?
I believe so.
What was they pulling over?
It probably display.
A tag or stuff? And the tag was blacked out.
Yes.
How do you mean blacked out?
You couldn't see it at all.
Okay.
There was a cover over the tag that was, tin.
How much of the video, from this night did you review? Did you see Mr. Trevathan's vehicle arrive at the scene?
Yes.
What in that video when Mr. Trevathan arrived at the scene, does it show him having his bumper ripped off?
From the distance, you can't tell, but you can tell that they were at his front lawn.
All right, and they're, and a rear bumper look attaching it back on,
I'm sorry.
and they look like they're working on the bumpers.
It could possibly, I can't give you a definitive answer for that.
About how long were they out there messing with the bumpers?
I can't give a definitive answer for that.
Can you give an estimate?
I
20
can't-
minutes?
I can't give an estimate. I would have to review the footage.
Nothing for you.
Redirect.
No questions.
Thank you, Ms. Hubner. Any other proof of the same?
No.
Counsel for the defense want to offer any proof regarding matters pertaining to bond? I know you had a couple of witnesses that were sworn in.
Your Honor, please, I'd like to call Mr. Perez's grandmother, Connie Darden. I don't think that's the last name, wrong, it's not with her.
When you're ready.
Ma'am, would you please pronounce your full name for the board?
Kinsella Dalrymple.
Dalrymple. I didn't want to mispronounce that, I apologize. Ms. Dalrymple, how do you know Mr. Perez?
He's my grandson.
He's your grandson, and he's 18 now, right? And before he turned 18, did you have legal custody of Mr. Perez
Yes, since he was 6 months old.
since he was 6 months old? And you have lived in East Tennessee, either Sevier County or Morristown for how long?
For a little over 14 years.
Okay. And you recently purchased a house in Hamblen County, is that correct?
Yes. 3 months ago.
3 months ago. And Mr. Perez was living with you then, correct?
Yes.
And he's still in school, is that correct?
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, he's a wrestler for the Pigeon Forge Wrestling Team, is that correct?
Yes.
And he's got won some awards lately, right? Tell the board about it.
Under emergency, goals, short goals. Basically, parent for the state
Been wrestling for quite a while,
since 6th grade.
and he was actually at a wrestling match on the day of this incident in Bristol with his coach, right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And he got home late that afternoon.
Out of 10:30.
If Mr. Perez is able to make bond, can you assure this board that that he'll be living with you?
Absolutely.
And can you assure this board that he'll make these court appearances?
Absolutely.
Mr. Perez, being a student, being a wrestler, did he have a job?
On his free time, he wrestled twice a day. He had practice twice a day at Pigeon Forge, and then on the weekends he had tournaments. But on his free weekends, he works with my son down by Bristol, down by Churchill. My son lives in Churchill.
And
Absolutely,
And if there's something out of the ordinary, would you assure this board that you let them know?
absolutely.
If there's a monitoring device, tell me, would you alert them if there's something going on with the device?
Yes, I would.
Mr. Perez doesn't have any money. That's all.
Mr. Dalrymple, you weren't at this party on January 4th.
No.
Were you aware that your grandson had firearms? Did he inform you where he was going?
Not exactly, he just said he was going out for a little bit. Going to a party.
And he's 18.
Yes.
So you didn't know really what he was up to, as far as who he was hanging out with and what they were doing.
Said he was gonna go to a party, he wouldn't be gone long because he was tired, he was, he had a long weekend, rested for 2 days in a row.
understand how that could be useful in evading the police?
I thought it was just for racing purposes. I really didn't understand that.
So is he a street racer?
He's been known to race.
Anything else? Thank you, ma'am. Can you step down? Any other proof of defense? If there's no other proof, I'll hear arguments regarding the amount of bonds to be assessed.
Your Honor, I believe the bond should be set at $100 for each defendant in this matter. We have two dead people. We have two young individuals who are carrying guns. We have put on proof here today to show that they are a flight risk with already showing the ability to block their license plate, known street racer. So I believe a high bond will ensure their appearance in court and protect the community. So yes.
Ms. Bolden?
Your Honor, please, there's no dispute that this is not a capital case. They're entirely wrong. The state constitution guarantees bail. So the question before this court is not whether my client gets it, but how the bail is fashioned. Not how much, not how little, but how. The state wants to ask for $1 million bond. Respectfully, that request is untethered to the law and it's untethered to Mr. Perez. The bond does not become lawfully simply because the accusations are categorically serious. Our law requires more than that. It requires an individualized determination, individualized. It requires this court to consider my client as a person, not just as an accused defendant. Under the Bail Reform Act, the court is required to consider my client's financial resources and his ability to make payments. That factor is mandatory, it's not discretion. It is not something that we can bypass, saying that the family might help or someone else could come up with it. My client's indigent. The court file indicates he's indigent. This court appointed counsel because the affidavit indicated he was indigent. The court relied on that affidavit. Conditioning liberty on whether someone can raise money is not bail, it's detention by proxy. $1 million bond in this case is not a high bond, it's a no bond. Tennessee law does not permit the court to indirectly do what it cannot do directly. Bail exists to ensure fairness and to protect the community, not to punish, not to warehouse, and not to detain by pricing liberty out of reach. If the court sets a bond it knows cannot be paid, the court has effectively ordered detention without statutory authority to do so. The law requires the court to consider and begin at the least restrictive means to protect the community and ensure appearance. That is not aspirational language, that is the structure of the statute. GPS monitoring exists. House arrest exists. Curfews exist. No contact orders exist. Third-party custodians exist. Travel restrictions exist. Reporting requirements exist. The question is not whether we have the tools, it's how do we use those tools to promote bail. I'm not asking the court to consider that these are not serious offenses, but they're not what paper and the media has glamorized as two juveniles or a juvenile killed at a party. These were kids that brought guns. Guns that were brandished? Was it self-defense? Was it defense of others? Who knows? There's no cameras inside the residence, we only have video footage on the outside. We got one of the deceased carrying an Uzi with a suppressor on it. So it's not that these two individuals, especially Mr. Perez, was the only one that is accused of having a firearm. If the state believes that detention is warranted, the burden is on the state to demonstrate that. And I do not believe that the state has met that burden. Accordingly, we ask the court to set a bond that my client can make. Just because he's indigent doesn't mean that he should be detained pre-trial. And we're asking this court to set a $100,000 bond for statute and that and implement the least restrictive means necessary to ensure that Mr. Perez will show up. He's a wrestler, he's in school, he's student. Unfortunate set of circumstances, horrific set of circumstances, but nonetheless, Mr. Perez is entitled to bond.
In the interest of judicial efficiency, I want to keep Mr. Holder's argument as to the law and the way that should be done. That being said, with regard to Mr. Trevathan, the state has stated him as a known street racer, at least, except for the fact that they put on evidence that he was pulled over, which means he stopped for the police. He wasn't arrested, he wasn't evaded. He stopped for the police that night. So, painting him as somebody who's going to be running and all that, I think the state has to disprove that. My client lives in Spears County and has his whole life. He has worked there, he's currently in the county office. He also installs lighting, audio systems and undercar lighting. So, my client being a resident of this community, Hamblen County is not far from Spears County. I grew up here, I live there now. It's not that. It's not far. His appearance in court is assured by his mother, and himself. He's happy to wear a GPS monitor before we take over a lot. The judge, the likelihood of conviction in this matter, you heard the proof that the state put on. My client took off running out of the back door of the residence the same way everybody else did at that time. Got into his vehicle. Shortly thereafter, a lifelong friend of his jumped in his vehicle and said, "Go, go, go," and they left. Just like everybody else at the same time. Saying that my client is a getaway driver and having knowledge of what happened, when he wasn't even in the residence at the time that everything went down, is a very far stretch, and I think the likelihood of conviction is very. So, Judge, I'm asking for a $5,000 bond, which I think is consistent with the nature of the charges. Having read the warrants, Judge, charging my client with reckless endangerment when he wasn't anywhere near anybody when the shooting went down, when he wasn't party to anything, no evidence is good per se for my client as part to me, other than Mr. Perez, his lifelong friend jumping his car. Very upset that nobody knew. So that's for a $5,000 bond, and the GPS monitor for my.
Anything else from your side? All right, court has, as the testimony was being presented, considered the factors required for the statute. The court does find that the bond or the state's met its burden of proof. The court does find that given the nature of these charges, guns were involved, that both the defendants are a danger to the community. There is evidence of blocking out a tag, which is suggestive of being a flight risk. Neither defendant has really any ties to the community. Neither one of them were employed. I understand that they're both very young. Probably don't have any record that the court's been made aware of. But given the nature and the seriousness of the charges and the fact that firearms were involved in this, court is going to set a $600,000 bond for each defendant, require each defendant to have a GPS monitor if they make the bonds. Okay, council will get up the calendar, we will talk about dates for the preliminary hearing. And I am unaware at this time whether either defendant will be making the bonds, so.
And Your Honor, we, I apologize, I didn't mean to interrupt, I was going to say, we'll waive the 10-day rule, even if he remains in custody, I understand the state is still
14 days.
14 days, sorry, sir. I understand the state is still actively working this investigation, and it's going to take us some time to get ready, put it here, so we will wait the 14 days. I don't know about this.
I have relations for the process of the around this week. I would like to soon get a date.
I've got dates in February, I've got dates in March. And I guess I'm going to have a lot of witnesses that still to work around, so we just need to be mindful that we're going to have a lot of speeches this year.
I agree. In addition, this preliminary hearing, I believe is going to take a good amount of time. We may be on a special session.
I'm okay with March, Judge. Just can't do it the week of the 15th.
How's March 19, that day is clear.
I've arranged to try to whichever one.
So March 19 is okay, Mr. Bowler?
Judge, I can't, I've got a trial set on the 19th, I can't do the 19th, it's on Thursday. I can do the 26th.
It's okay. 26 is okay?
Unfortunately, I'll set this here.
I can do the 25th. Or the 24th, it looks like that, week. I don't know why that week looks good, but.
The 25th is better than the 24th. Given the length of this hearing that I'm anticipating, I'll require resetting several cases.
Also,
My felony trials are good.
It's fine. No, it's fine. How about,
did you say March the 19th, Judge?
no, I said, yes, I'm
Your
sorry,
original
March,
date, was it March the 19th?
March the 19th.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was looking at February, it looks like March the 19th is a good day. That's still good for me.
Okay. All right, both preliminary hearings we set for March 19. Probably begin these in the morning,
I would imagine so.
9 o'clock. Any other matters? Okay, you'll set those motions, send them to me, send them to council so that I can have time to look at them. And if I need to set a special motion day, let me know. Okay? Any other matters?
Oh, I have to.
Thank you, good to see you. Thank you. Very well done, thank you. All right, we're going to be in recess.
All right.